Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. We're now going to continue with Grade 3 2016 Paper C. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. All the information that you need to know for these grades can be found within these documents. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials. And if you want to revisit some topics as you revise for these exam papers, I've worked with you step by step through each of the music theory and practice workbooks, and so you can revise any topic on those video tutorials there. You can also access information about the books I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam, and it's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time once you're actually in the exam room. So if you visit sharonbill.com, there's lots there to help you. If you can give me a like, that would be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's loads more to come. And so now if you grab a sharp pencil, I use a mechanical pencil just so I know it's sharp. You will need an eraser and a ruler, and then we're all ready to go. So if you turn with me please in your booklet to page 10, and we're going to make a start on this paper C. So this will have been an actual exam paper taken in the last exam session of 2016. If you notice, it says that all questions must be written clearly and neatly, otherwise marks may be lost, and so that's why we're always working in pencil. It's always better to have a go at these papers yourself first. You'll learn more thoroughly. Even if you get things wrong, you'll learn by your mistakes rather than merely by copying the answers with me. So I'm hoping that you've had a go at these questions already, and now I'll work through these answers with you. So question 1 asks us to add the time signature to each of these 5 melodies. So there are 5 separate questions here. Each one will need a new time signature, so don't get misled into thinking it's going to continue. We need 5 separate answers here to justify the 10 marks here. And so first of all, we've got to decide which is our bottom number. Are we counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes, minim beats or half notes, or are we counting in quaver beats, eighth notes? And so we need to decide that first of all. Choose the bar that seems the simplest to understand, and I would suggest this first bar is, and I think we can tell here we're in simple time because everything's grouped in twos. When there's a triplet, that's the same as being grouped in twos, 3 in the time of 2. And so we're counting in crotchet beats here, or quarter notes, so our bottom number is 4. And once that's done, we just need to decide how many crotchet beats or quarter notes. So we've got 1 beat here, 1 beat here, and then 2 beats here, so we've got 4 altogether. So the answer to that one is 4, 4. Alternatively, you could put the symbol for common time. Okay, this next one, actually these are massively long bars, and that in itself gives us a clue. So it's unlikely that we'll be counting in crotchet beats or quaver beats. So we won't really be counting in quarter notes or eighth notes. We won't be counting in eighth notes because you can see we're grouped in twos here. And then it's also so massive that if we were counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes, we'd have 1.5, 2, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7.5, 8, and that's not really a valid time signature. So we're going to be counting in minim beats. And so we've just counted that we thought that there were 8 crotchet beats, and so if we look at that in minim beats or half notes, we can see that there are 4 because we've got, there's the equivalent to 1 beat if we're counting in minims. There's the equivalent to 1. And then there's the equivalent to 1 minim or half note, and there's the equivalent to another. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The fact that it's such a massively long bar also gives us that clue. The next one, again, we're grouping in twos here, but that's because we've got a rest here. Let's look ahead again and see what happens. It's because we've got very, very small divisions here. We haven't actually got a full bar of either quavers or semiquavers yet. Here, however, there's the first clue that we grouped in threes and everything's beamed together. But actually this bar or this bar gives us the answer straight away, because we can't be counting in crotchet beats or minim beats, that's quarter notes or half notes, because there isn't enough to fill one of those bars. If we were counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes, we'd have 1.5 beats. If we were counting in minim beats or half notes, there's only 3/4 of a beat there. It's such a tiny bar, and the fact that everything's beamed together tells us that we're counting in 3/8, and we can see mathematically 1, 2, 3 quaver beats. 1, 2, 3 quaver beats, and so that will tell us there. So there are lots of clues leading to that, apart from just the actual maths as well. Let's look at the next one. Now I think this bar tells us the answer pretty simply here. We're counting in groups of 2 or groups of 4. We're in simple time, so the bottom number is going to be either minims or crotchets, that's half notes or quarter notes. However, it can't be half notes or minim beats, because that would just be 1 beat per bar, so that's not a valid time signature. So we're counting in quarter notes or crotchet beats, and we've got 1, 2 beats per bar. There we go. Now this last one, again, it's a massively long bar, but you can see now that we're counting in groups of 3. We're in compound time, so our bottom number is 8, and we need to just work out how many of those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 over 8. And just to confirm that, that's quadruple time in compound time. So we've got 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3, and there we are, 12/8. Let's move on to the next question. Now question 2 asks us to complete a 4-bar rhythm. However, we're going to skip this question because it no longer forms part of the revised ABRSM exams. From 2018 onwards, this question will not appear on your exam paper, and so there's no need for us to work on that today. And so we're going to press on to question 3. So question 3 asks us to add the correct rest or rests, that's the important thing to take notice of, in the places marked with a star in these 2 melodies. So be careful, there are 2 separate questions here, and so we need to make each bar complete with the appropriate rest or rests. And so we should have 3 quaver beats or 3/8 notes, that's what we're adding up to each bar. And this bar is not complete. We've got 1 quaver beat so far, and so we know that we need 2 quaver beats in rest form, and we can show that as a crotchet rest in this form, because really what we're doing, we're showing that group of notation as a rest and a note, so it's quite acceptable to do a crotchet beat rest there. This last bar, if you were to mathematically add up to 3 quaver beats or 3/8 notes, that wouldn't actually give you full marks. All you need to do is add a whole note rest or a semi-brief rest, which still means a complete bar's silence. No need for any dots there. That's just a complete bar's silence still. Okay, this next exercise, we're in 6/8, so we're counting to 6 quaver beats or 6/8 notes per bar. So let's see what we've got. So we're always trying to show that we've got 2 groups of 3, and that must be reflected in the way that we write our rests or note groupings. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, that's our first group, and we've got 1 quaver bit here, and so really we're going to be doing the same as this question here. 1, 2, 3. Let's glance ahead. So we've got 1, 2, 3 4, 5, 6. There's our 2 groups of 3. And then the last bar, 1, 2, 3. And so our last group of 3 is entirely as the rest. And so that would be as the dotted crotchet or a dotted quarter note. There we go, that's that question complete. I hope that's been helpful to you. If you could give me a thumbs up, give me a like, that would be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's loads more to come. We'll continue with the next question on the next video. Please do go to sharonbill.com and make use of all the information there to help you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.